Thank you for the reminder for the recording. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the apparent second session of the day. Um, so what's being expressed is this radiant emptiness, this wordless emptiness appears as itself as able to perceive things by extending itself as an illusory conceptual space and time. And this apparent appearance of space and time happening, the apparent emptiness apparently divides itself into a subject and an object. What's being suggested here is that emptiness is just an extension. Subject and object is just an extension of an illusion of emptiness, um, appearing as this or that, good or bad, you and I, understanding or misunderstanding. So this apparent appearance of this apparent emptiness that appears to manifest or appear as this and that is gorgeous, actually. It's quite stunning that it's appearing as this apparent subject-object, appearing as interdependent, appearing as opposites, appearing as labels, appearing as whatever seems to appear. So seemingly, this apparent perception, which is kind of like an instant as a thought, when it's seen that subject and object are the same, it can see through that this mysterious, empty understanding, meaning that there's no one there, when it's seen that there's this deep resonance, that everything is whole, unicity, singularity, undivided, then all of a sudden there's like an aha, or like a relaxing of what seems to be appearing as separate is not separate at all. What seemingly appearing as divided has no division. What seemingly seems to be an argument or a confusion is clarity. What seems to appear as meaningful is completely meaningless. But no one is perceiving that. Again, I'm going to repeat. So this apparent emptiness appears as the one listening and the one speaking. This apparent emptiness manifests itself as this perception, this sensation, this separateness, this and that. It's like an extension of timelessness appearing as time. Wholeness appearing as division. So really, what's appearing is just this. It's almost kind of like, how do you say it? It cannot be understood, but there's this stunning clarity, this wordless knowing, but no one's knowing that everything is a conceptual phenomena, that this universe, the world, the appearance, everything seen, everything known, everything understood is just this concept. It's an extension or it's an expression of emptiness appearing as whatever seems to appear. That wrong or right, this or that, you and I are just concepts. So the seeming confusion or the seeming kind of like, barrier to this is understanding itself. Kind of like what was happening in the apparent last session, there was beginning to be a nitpicking of this understanding of what this emptiness that it's being talked about, that cannot be talked about. And it brings together a whole bunch of ideas, but all of that ideas, all of that concept, every single one of them is an illusion of emptiness. It's an appearance of emptiness. And there's nothing wrong or right because it's just an appearance. There's nothing misunderstood or understood because it's just an appearance. So in this deep resonance, it's kind of like an instant resonance. And like, what the hell? There's the me that's thinking all of this concept is a concept of self, meaning it's not real. So everything that it's thought of, everything that is understood is an illusion. It's a fantasy. Again, they're trying to grasp it. They're trying to personalize it, to identify it. I felt that way, I do this way. It's another extension. So what the extension is, or the appearance, or the expression, I'm just using different many words here, right? No stuckness here. This expression becomes stuck. For example, when someone focuses on their apparent seeing that there's no one, and then but somehow they have to show this to others. So you get stuck that there's no one here, but there are others. What I was trying to express earlier, that everything is an illusion. So if there's no one here, everything that it sees is also an illusion. Everything that it feels, thinks, understands, grasps, everyone that it encounters is an illusion. Every single feeling, emotion, sensation is an illusion. There's no exclusion to the illusion. Everything is included. Everything that appears is an illusion. So there's usually kind of like an aha or a relaxation that the wheel that was turning all of this, the this seeking energy, this trying to find something, this trying to get somewhere, this trying to this frustration, this desperation is an expression of emptiness. That's also emptiness. There's nothing wrong or right about that. When it's seen that everything is just this, what, yay, wordless expressions. And then we label it as something like, well, I'm really frustrated, I'm really confused, or there's so much clarity here. This is, all of that is an expression of emptiness. There's nothing wrong or right. There's not a preferred state. Because the desperate seeking sometimes is longing for that desperate state, longing for that final position. When can I lose all my thoughts? Which is just another idea, which is just another illusion, which is just another fantasy. Because there's no one there in the first place, so there are really no thoughts. So trying to get rid of something that's not there is making it real. There's nothing wrong or right about that. The persistence, the desperation, that insane energy of seeking is perpetuating that there's someone seeking. But no one can help to seek or not to seek. The desperation that happens in trying to lose the me reinforces the me when there's been no me in the first place. So again, let's just go back to the beginning. What's being suggested is that this radiant emptiness appears as everything. It appears as seeking. It appears as understanding. It appears as misunderstanding. It appears as this sentience. It appears as subject and object. It appears as whatever seems to appear is emptiness. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that is not emptiness. But the seeming understanding or the seeming nitpicking of it, kind of like, well, I can't believe that, a serial killer will also be emptiness, or an evil will also be emptiness. That's taking a position again. Or, that there are some, let's go to the opposite, that there are some sages and saints and all that kind of stuff, or awakened ones. Again, that's trying to maintain the others. Trying to maintain that there's someone here. I'm trying to lose this someone, but there are others that have already lost themselves. Everything that is seen, felt, and seen is an expression of this emptiness that doesn't have a location. It doesn't land anywhere. And it's just this stunning clarity of what seems to happen in an instantaneous moment, that there are no moments. That what seems to be appearing is just a play of emptiness. This is a play of words, because all of this is really silence. All of this is really nothing. But this expression, there's no one doing this. There's this passion coming out and trying to express that really there's nothing happening here. There's nothing to figure out here because everything that's appearing is as it is already. It's as it is. Because emptiness appears as whatever it is. And then someone will say, well, I still have a lot of chatter. That's emptiness appearing as chatter. Well, someone will say that I don't feel that way. That's emptiness appearing as feeling. Again, emptiness will appear in an infinite expression, infinitely expressing this emptiness. And before you latch on to that word emptiness, emptiness is just another word for something that appears in everything. So, not trying to make the word emptiness special, let's just call it absence. Let's call it the absent present. Let's call it unicity. Let's call it wholeness, singularity, completeness. In this completeness, every single thing that appears is already complete. Everything that appears as completely separate is already whole. Everything that is divided is singularity. Everything that is whatever it is. So again, there's this seeming perception that this can't be understood. There is, this is a suggestion, there's an empty understanding, which is not an intellectual comprehension at all. That everything is a concept, not an intellectual understanding, not a total understanding, not coming into a conclusion, not coming into a definitive, an absolute. So this emptiness is all that there is. And everything that arises in it is also it. Um, all right. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Thank you for the lovely comments. Thank you. Someone said, well, what can I say after that? Wow, Emerson, everything is falling apart. Was that like a hypnotism or something? No, there's no one to hypnotize. Maybe it was an emptiness appearing as itself, appearing as understanding, or appearing as blanking out. Story about Casey.
um, yeah, I just feel like a story bot. Let's see. Oh yeah,
Love your
so
name.
thanks. In a breakout room, we were discussing time a little bit,
Mm,
and so well, yeah, when you rip out time, and then your language goes, and everything goes.
yeah.
So how does time rip out? So, I don't. How do you know there's no time? I mean, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
for
bad
sure.
way to ask it
Sure.
because of
So
words, but
so when
yeah.
it's seen it again, it's a really flimsy house of cards, right? When one's ripped out. So for example, the cards has the me, the character, the time, knowledge, belief, and perception, all those kind of stuff. So if you take out the character, who has time? Who's the timekeeper? Because when
Other
you rip out
characters.
the yeah, so when there's no character, there's no time. So when you rip out time, there's no character that was born or will die. When you take out belief, the belief in the character or the time is gone. So it's kind of like these pillars of this illusion, right? The
Mm-hmm.
character, the time, the belief, perception, all those kind of things. When it's seen as empty, when it's seen that is just this, it's almost kind of like this illusion, and this is just a story as well, right? That this story is maintained by continuity. So when there is kind of like the aha, or the kind of like the that there's no one there, that continuity, kind of like that spell of illusion, gets kind of like broken. You're like, all of a sudden it's like a spell of time, spell of belief, spell of continuity. Although there's no continuity, because when the character kind of like sporadically appears during the day, but somehow there's this illusion that this character is continuous, when it's actually really flawed, right? Because it doesn't appear when you're, in deep sleep. It doesn't appear when you're in anesthesia. It doesn't appear when you black out. All of this stuff, or it doesn't appear when you're doing something that you love, and then all of a sudden and there's what is permanent is this emptiness, this no timelessness. So in the deep sleep, is there time?
I have no idea what happens in deep
Yeah.
sleep. There's
There
not
you
even
go.
consciousness.
There you go. That's what's permanent. What's permanent is what appears kind of like deep sleep is appearing now. So this is deep sleep as well. So if you collapse all of the idea of time, you collapse all of the idea of me, or belief or perception. There's just this, and there's appearance of time moving, a storybot talking, us connecting or interacting is an illusion, because nothing happens in deep sleep. Nothing happens in this emptiness. So the happening is apparently appearing in nothing. So emptiness is appearing as us talking together. But since we cannot comprehend what emptiness is, there's no us that can comprehend it, meaning that this is an illusion. Comprehension is an illusion. Understanding is an illusion. Grasping is an illusion. So in this emptiness, I'm just using words to for the sake of pointing out something that cannot be pointed at. So this presence, this emptiness presence, we try to name it like God, or they're all ideas. Emptiness, nothingness, whatever seems to appear, or energy is unknowable. So trying to know it is an illusion. Trying to name it is an illusion. So trying to when there is a conclusion, when there's a conclusion, that I have arrived or something, then it gets trapped in that illusion again. So what's being expressed here is a suggestion that since there is no one who's telling the time, since there's no one who's perceiving things, since there's no one, what are beliefs? Since there's no one, what is one? What is this? What is going on? What is happening? What is nothing? It can't be answered. So, in this stunning clarity, that there's no one that can answer that, this is emptiness appearing as this movement, appearing as time, appearing as whatever seems to appear as it is.
Yeah, damn it. Yeah, time is pretty loose. It
It
just
is.
seems so solid, but
Well,
time
it's a
goes away
perfect
all the
illusion.
time.
It
Time goes
does,
away
yeah.
all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's
So, okay. Yeah,
time
thanks.
flies when there's no time. Thank you.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hey,
I love
Robert.
your I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Man,
you.
is that velour?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? Like I used to think a lot,
Yeah.
dwell on stuff a lot. And that went away. And you know what happened? It got replaced with visuals,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like pictures,
Yeah,
visuals.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, the gears aren't,
They're
the
not turning
gears,
as much. Yeah.
no. And
Yeah.
it's just like picturing. I can picture this, I can picture that. Visuals, like,
That's
and
beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I used to dream when there was this initial kind of like, not initial, this is just a story when there was this apparent awakening about 15 years ago. I used to dream in colors.
Well,
So it'll just be colors. Yeah, it'll just be because it will be wordless. There's nothing happening. It'll just be a deep, deep blue or, whatever. But there's just this wholeness in the dream. And I'm like, oh, I can't really figure that out because it was just a color. No time, no whatever. It's
no,
just visual. Yeah. So I get that. Yeah.
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 And thanks for the tip on the glasses. I copied you.
Oh,
I
did you go to
went,
Alibaba? $1, right?
I bought rings at Alibaba, but the glasses I got at, well, Privé Revaux,
Yeah.
is in the store, and they're clear. They're not prescription or anything, but they are blue blockers, blue light
Nice.
blockers.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Blue.
blue blocked as well because I used to squint. I don't know if you guys noticed before because it would be this glare, and I would have to
Yeah,
change into my fake glasses. So, um,
yeah. So thanks for the inspiration.
oh, thank you,
Okay,
thank you.
okay.
Oh, hi, Sheer. Hi,
Uh,
hello, Sheer.
uh, Emerson, deep sleep, it's nothing.
It's just another analogy. It's just another metaphor, right? Let's not get caught up with. It's
No,
nothing. Everything is nothing. Yeah,
yes, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we do talk always about nothing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so nothing is the problem, you know. Uh,
The trying to understand what nothing is seems to obscure what nothing is. It's making something out of nothing.
but what I want to say is that deep sleep is there is no one, there is nothing.
Yeah.
It have to be nothing.
Yes.
So that which is from that or from that or that which from that which arise everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You can say that. Yeah. There's this. There's
Because I
all.
cannot I
There's
cannot
all.
so from because it will be two.
Yeah.
So they have to be itself. From that
Yes.
itself arise everything.
Yeah.
This so there is this so that's why there is no one who is dreaming. It's nothing and the fact
Exactly.
which is
Yeah.
dreaming.
Yeah. No one's dreaming. No one's. It's everything that's been is long for. It's kind of funny, right? Everyone's seeking for that deep peace, right? That
Yeah.
emptiness. What it doesn't see is that it's already it. It's already emptiness. It's already peace. And in this peace that's unwavering, everything arises like chaos, like movement, like voices, like sounds, like learning. But it's all really just this deep, still silence. It's stillness. And it's stillness. Yeah, everything is stillness. The stillness that can never leave. The stillness that's when it's there when you're freaking out. The stillness that it's there where all of this arises from. Where stillness when you get into an accident, the stillness when you're super happy, the stillness when you're blacking out, the stillness when you are everything. It appears in everything. It can never leave because it's eternity. Stillness is eternal. Peacefulness is infinite. But since this is the unicity, meaning that everything that appears is whole and complete. So deep sleep, dreaming is appearing at the same time, but there's not even a time. So it's automatically, simultaneously appearing as this singularity without any division in this unicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Tej.
Hey, Emerson, how's it
Hello.
going?
Good, good, good. How's California?
Oh, it's super hot this week.
It's cold here.
On Tuesday, it's going to be 113.
Wow. That's enough to fry an egg.
I know, yeah, exactly. It's record breaking. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Come to
But
Canada.
huh?
Come to Canada.
I know. Look for another place. You know, in the last session, somebody mentioned about this character that's on the internet that's putting down radical
Yeah,
non-duality.
yeah.
So you know me, Emerson. So what I did is I went online and looked at it, Googled it,
Yeah.
and I found the character. And I
Yeah.
went through some of the statements he's making.
Yeah.
And what I would do is, actually, I would challenge that character, come online and have a debate.
Yeah.
You know, because it's, I mean, I'm sorry to use these words.
No worries.
It's almost moronic for the person to, you know, say that meditation is going to get you somewhere or something else is,
Yeah.
you know, and radical non-duality is, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the reason is very simple. They're just two words. The word advaita, which he refers on his website,
Yeah.
what does it mean? It comes from a single
Yeah.
sentence in Mandukya Upanishad,
Yeah.
which I've studied.
Yeah. Likewise. Yeah.
You know, it says
Yeah.
advaita.
Yeah.
It's just two words.
Yeah.
And those two words mean not two.
Not too. Yeah.
They didn't even say that there is one, because when you say there is one, there is somebody saying there is one.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's why they
Yeah.
said not two.
Yeah.
Just two words mean there is nothing.
Yes.
Because, you know, we have discussed this before. Advaita means there's no separation.
Yeah.
There's not two.
Yeah.
Once there is no separation, even if you think logically, I mean, I'm not, you know, claiming to be liberated or anything. Even if you think with a clear mind,
Yeah.
what that means is there is not two. So there cannot be two things. There cannot be two objects. There cannot be time or space, because they
Yes.
imply separation.
Yes.
Right? It's very simple.
It's very simple. It's so simple that it's it's so simple that it doesn't really need an understanding. It doesn't really need complication of trying to get there. But seemingly, and this can like this. That's why I'm easy on it, because about 15 years ago, I was at that stage. I thought that I reached something. I thought that I was correct, and I was easy to put down anything. You know what I'm saying? But now that there's clarity here, it's just a kid playing by himself in a sand lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
throwing dust at everything, and so I just laugh at it, because there's seemingly a lot of people that have been messaging me about it. I was like, oh, enough. You know, they'll send me clips of this speaker. Again, it's just reinforcing that there is someone that has reached somewhere. And if you look at it, if it not two, how can there be someone that's awake?
Exactly. I
And
mean, it's so simple.
it's so
I mean,
simple.
I'm sorry, this is your meeting, so I shouldn't be saying these
No
things.
worries,
But
no worries.
I challenge that moron to come online and have a debate.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
I mean, forget scientifically. Scientifically, also, we have talked about it. At one time there was a big bang or singularity or whatever you call it. There was no separation,
Yeah, there's no
and because there was
separation.
no time, that big bang is here now.
It is, yeah. It is. So
Yeah,
there's no attaining. There's no, there's this. It's perpetuating the illusion.
yeah,
When someone thinks that they have reached the absolute or they're the only one, and it's just very. Let's just say it. It's very codependent and it's very abusive because it requires believers, and it's
yeah. And that's what pisses me off, Emerson, because of my past,
yeah,
because of idiots like this. We have wasted so much time. I mean, in the story,
yeah,
trying to get something
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, I mean, I have no mercy on this. I'm sorry to say that.
No, no, no worries, no
Let
worries.
them
Yeah.
come online and have a debate and literally shred their mind to pieces.
It's just what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny when I got into when about 4 years ago there was clarity here already, when it was encountering this kind of communication, and I didn't know that there was people that were teaching attainment or enlightenment or it's very dualistic, and I was kind of like confused. I'm like, what are they talking about? Or that there are others. Let's just say that there's a truly enlightened person. It's just saying the story, right? You will not see others. You will not instruct others. You
Yes.
will not.
In
you-
fact, there can be no person because obviously, when there is not two, who's the person?
yeah,
That
yeah,
word itself, advaita,
yes,
is
yeah.
really explains everything.
Everything, yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Just two
does.
words. You don't need a third word.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just what is, and from seeing that, it was just this. It again, it's just like a kid flinging dust at everybody, thinking that there's someone there, or trying to lead. I think I talked about this in the highway. Someone thinks that they're ahead of the pack, and they're driving somewhere. But you know what happens usually when someone's leading and they think that they're driving, they eventually crash.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's when there's a beginning, there's an end.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean,
yeah,
that's what's going to happen. But um, sorry to say, I have very little patience with these
yeah. Or it's just
kind
another
of.
money. It's just a money making thing. You know what I'm saying? Someone
Exactly.
just
That's
gets.
what it is. They get into that, they're
Yeah,
getting the money, and they are fooling all kinds of people who are following them and
yeah,
getting, on the wrong track.
yeah, yeah. It's just what is. You know what I'm saying? It's just an appearance as well of emptiness. And but you're right. You know what I'm saying, that it because in this apparent story of Emerson, it has been the fooled and the fooler. It has been it
Yeah.
was both. It was both.
Hmm.
It saw that towards the end that, oh wow, I could not even because the apparent, sometimes, what I'm saying, it's kind of funny with this apparent seeing, right? When the when there is an apparent landing somewhere, the ego has landed. The spiritual ego, although there's no such thing as spiritual ego, there's this imaginary thing that is think that it's
Hmm.
running the show now, and
Yep.
it's convinced that it can help people or be popular or whatever. And it basically, and this is just a third, there's no projecting, it's projecting everything that it's saying. It's actually itself that it's talking about. So when it's putting a lot of people down, it's actually talking about itself, if you know what I mean. Tej?
Sorry, I lost the connection in
Yeah, yeah.
between.
I said, and this is just a story. There's no such thing a projection or others. But in the story, when there's someone projecting and basically defending their position, they're just flinging shit to themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, because I've seen it clearly that really there is the things are just happening by themselves. There is nobody who
Yeah,
can do anything. Absolutely nobody can do anything. So it's a I mean, even scientifically they have shown there's no free will,
that's
right?
right. Yeah.
So,
That's right.
I mean,
It's a very contradictory. If you know, if there's unfortunately in this apparent, story of seeking, there's a lot of gullibility. This
yeah.
character was very gullible. It did well in school, but somehow when it got to spirituality, everything that was flung to me as truth was taken as truth. But it was all
Emerson,
bullshit.
we were all very gullible when we went
Yeah.
through all
Oh,
the people here.
spirituality?
I don't know who all have went through the spiritual path. We were also gullible.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even the people who were teaching us were fooled. But they
Yes.
were caught up in trying to make money and trying to build
Oh,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. It's all, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
just crazy.
it's a position. It's something that is there's an agenda. So when there's
Yeah.
an agenda, when it's trying to, the only way that it's starting a group or something, it's funny how I don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no there's no interest, saying and watching that kind of thing. But someone sent me up a clip of this apparent character, basically was really rude to apparent characters. Um, yeah, it's just what's happening, but
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm different than you, Emerson, that way. I would love to bloody engage these guys and shred them.
Invite them to a one-on-one with you and
Yeah, right. Oh gosh.
okay.
All right.
Thank you, Tej.
Thank you.
Marcy goes, can you speak about the illusion of continuity when we awake in the morning? Yes, oh wow. It's a very persistent illusion because there's an appearance of a history, an appearance of a yesterday, an appearance of a past. So the illusion of time is the illusion of continuity. That something happened yesterday, that something happened, a minute ago. But what's being expressed here is that there's no continuity when there's this directness, when there's this seeing that this is actually stillness. Actually, nothing is really moving right now. But there's an appearance of movement. Because if you take away time, how can movement be possible? If you can't take away the illusion of space and time appearing, how can that be? It's not possible. So the illusion of continuity is the continuous, the maintenance of this reality, this perceived reality. For example, when I say, well, when this character says that this doesn't really have any knowledge, this doesn't have any history. There's no one here at all. There is no one speaking here. There's no one listening there. It's speaking in the emptiness, in this clarity, that the illusion of time and the illusion of someone speaking here, the illusion of writing words on the chat is not happening. It seems like it's happening, but since it's a perfect illusion, it's just a maintenance that this is reality. But since reality itself is an illusion, everything that is perceived as real is not really happening. So continuation or continuity doesn't happen. There's no previous and there's no post. There's no before, there's no after. There's no in and there's no out. There's just this radiance, stunning clarity that nothing is happening, that nothing is everything. There's not even a processing, right? There's not even kind of like and science is beginning to back this up. And there's this illusion of going on when nothing is going on. Who is that guy? I don't know. There's no one here, so there's no other guy. We can talk in the breakout room. The gossip breakout room, apparently. Oh, hi, Raquel. Hello.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could talk a little more about clarity and the empty understanding that you
Yeah, yeah,
mention
for sure.
sometimes.
Yeah. Um, Again, these are just words, right? These are just words attempting to express something that's inexpressible, something that appears in everything, but there's no word for it. So this clarity appears in everything. It appears in every single apparent illusory moment. It's always there. It's there when there's sleeping. It's there when there's waking. It's there when there's deep sleep. It's there when there's nightmares. It's there when it's dreaming. It's there when it's pain. It's there when it's in pleasure. That's what the clarity is being spoken about. That this clarity that can never leave, that doesn't really have any words. Even clarity is just a, it's just an attempt to express something that cannot be fully expressed. Um, is what is. So this clarity is empty of any thoughts or any ideas or any kind of definitions. So there's this empty resonance. There's this empty understanding. There's this blank knowledge about something that is quite obvious, but it cannot be said because trying to say it captures it into an understanding, captures it into a knowing. Did you have a follow up to that, Raquel? I think I lost you there.
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't really know what to say to that.
Okay. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in New Zealand at the moment.
Oh, wow. There's a couple of people from New Zealand. Meet them at the breakout room.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's
Yeah.
5:40 a.m. at the
Yeah.
moment.
Thank you for
So,
apparently waking up.
yeah.
Although no one woke up. Hello. Hello, Jerry.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Emerson.
Hello.
There is apparently pain in my tooth, and so it's not happening.
There's a pain?
Pain in my tooth.
Oh,
And when I eat hot or cold, it
okay. I
makes
thought you.
shooting pain.
Yeah.
And
So pain will keep on happening, but it's not happening to anyone. Pain is happening by itself. There's really no story to it. It's just paining by itself. When there's no narrative, there's no hot and cold, because when pain is permanent. But no pain is permanent. Pain comes in and out. So is it really real? Pain goes away. Does it make it real?
No.
But what seems to appear is this emptiness where all of this pain seems to be arising from. That's what's permanent. And that's what is. So it appears as pain coming in and out from your tooth eating hot or cold food. And it seemingly disappears when you're deep sleep at night. And it seemingly comes back in the morning or in the lunchtime when you're eating again.
Yeah.
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 It's just like everything. There's thoughts that comes in and out. There's gas sometimes in your stomach comes out. There's everything comes in and out. There's no permanence to the illusion. So the illusion comes in spurts, comes in pain, coming in and out. It feels absolutely fucking real, but it's not. It's not permanent. So the permanence that it's appearing from is this wordless, unlabeled clarity that we're trying to express here for the past almost 3 hours. right? It's just this, it appears in everything. So you can also say that pain is also it. That's also emptiness. So trying to get rid of pain is trying to obscure what is. You're from Sweden, right, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm from Finland.
Finland. Oh, Finland. Okay.
Yeah, Finland.
What time is it there in Finland?
It's
Later in the
about
afternoon, right?
9
Oh, wow.
p.m.
Okay. Wow.
It's good time.
Awesome.
Good time for these meetings. Apparently.
Yes.
Sometimes with Kenneth Madden, meetings are way too
Very late.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah. 11 p.m. So
Yeah.
so no can do.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for the question. Unless you
Thanks.
have another one.
I'm good.
Okay. I think you've opened a floodgate there, Tej. There's a lot of messages here.
Oh gosh, sorry about that.
No worries. Leave. Hi, Leave. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Am I
So
pronouncing your name right? Leave?
Lieve.
Leva.
Yeah.
Hello, Leva.
Hi.
Hi.
About my English is not so good, but I
It's
try.
perfect.
Okay. So you said about the toothache.
Yes.
Before, because it comes and it goes.
Yes.
So that's why it's not real. But when the pain is there,
it feels
then it's
absolutely real.
Then it's real.
Yes. It feels absolutely real, yeah. And
But
then it
you say it's
disappears
not
again.
real.
It disappears again at night when you go to sleep. And then in the morning, in the toothache, just in case you drank something hot, like a coffee or a tea, then it appears and it feels absolutely real again.
Yes, and you say it's not real, even if it feels real.
That's right, because there's no one seeing it. There's a resonance or a seeing through. No one seeing it, a seeing through that everything that is happening is the unreal that feels absolutely real, which is the same thing. So it's the unreal real. It's the unhappening happening, meaning that it happens and it's also not happening at the same time. But seemingly, again, going back to that continuity, the illusion is maintained by the illusion of continuity. The illusion of continuity, for example, there's cause and effect, subject, object, others, time happening, is a maintenance of what seems to be appearing. But what's being expressed here is that there's no other this than this. So all that there is this. So everything that appears, like even when Jerry was talking about pain, it's just appearing as a story. It's a real story, but it's also appearing as a story, unreal and real at the same time. Yeah. What's apparently permanent, or what seems to be the endless, is the emptiness that seems to be in the that appears with everything. So for pain to happen, there has to be this emptiness where it's arising from. For relief to happen, saying, when there's this pain arising from emptiness, and then at night it goes back into nothingness or emptiness. There's no pain, and there's pain arises again. So the permanence, the apparent permanence, again, we're just using words here to try to express the inexpressible. So the permanence that is apparently happening is the emptiness that cannot be labeled. It appears in everything. It appears in pain. It appears in pleasure. It appears in everything. And that's what's longed for. That peace that is unwavering. That stillness, that silence that appears in everything, is in everything.
So everything is emptiness.
It is, yeah. Not as an understanding,
No.
not even as a perception, but this emptiness, seeing itself as emptiness. No understanding needed. Emptiness is speaking to emptiness, and the speaking is not even happening because speaking is emptiness as well. So it's all emptiness appearing as an extension or an expression as speaking, as Leva, as Emerson. So there's no one here at all because this is emptiness just talking to itself. It's not even talking because there's no time in emptiness. There's an appearance of time happening. There's an appearance of sound traveling, but there's no one here, and so there's no sound because there's no time. So this is just emptiness by itself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, hi, Kim.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm
Hi.
fine, thanks.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about time again.
Yes, of course.
It seems like it's the only apparent place where apparent time ever exist is in thought.
In thoughts, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that just seems very
It's very
obvious.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and at the same time, that seems
Continuity
also
only appears in thoughts.
yeah.
Without thoughts, there's no continuity
No,
of stories. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So it's all made up
Yep.
of stories.
Yeah.
It's just constant storytelling, and
It is.
I mean, including the I, right? That the I is the me is a constant story,
It is.
a
Yes.
never-ending story. Because if the story is not told, well, where is the I?
It's that's beautifully said. The what seems to be appearing is the untold.
Hmm.
It's never been told because
No.
it has no one to tell to. It's untold. It's the infinitely untold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Because telling or stories, thoughts appears in time. So it's reversible, right? Without time, there are no thoughts. Without thoughts, there are no time. What a
No.
brilliant illusion. Yeah.
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 But and still it
Without
I
belief,
don't know.
there's no thought. Without, it just goes on and on and on and on, right? It just keeps on how do you say it? It keeps on regenerating, recreating
Yes, exactly.
this illusion.
Exactly.
It's like this endless illusion maintaining itself. Like
Yeah.
infinity as well, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like an echo of nothing, but nothing cannot be echoed because it's nothing.
Yeah. And that was what I meant with this constant storytelling, because
Yeah.
without that, I mean, there's nothing. And it puzzles me how can there be a universe? How
There's
can
no
there be?
universe.
No, but there's an apparent this looking, seeing,
Yeah.
sensing, all that.
But Kim, that's also another story. That there's a looking and there's a seeing. See how brilliant it is?
You have to punch me harder. I don't see that.
Because seeing or understanding or perceiving requires time, doesn't it? Right? You just said it. So
Yeah.
So a thought and seeing is the same. Without time, it's not possible.
No. Wow.
Yeah. I always had this mantra, when things were going kind of like awry or like really bad. The universe has got my back. The universe
Yeah.
it's just another idea.
Yeah.
Even the visual, universe or what you see is just another story. It's just words. It's all emptiness.
But isn't that even saying too much?
That's
I mean,
saying too much. I always say too much because there's no one here. But there's no one. But this apparent expression, you know what I'm saying, is just it's everything. Even making a sound is too much. Even going boo, that's too much. Because this is silence. It's silence.
yeah.
Yeah. And really, all of these words are completely meaningless. This is just an energetic expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like that it's only it's a full stop and nothing. I actually remembered one time you told about you were so fascinated by a red light,
Yes.
and you saw it was a stoplight,
A stoplight.
and and that just it just resonated so deeply here that it
Yeah.
was just yes, exactly, full
It's
stop,
full stop. Yeah.
full stop.
It
Yeah.
is. It's like a glitch, right? Because there's this ongoing, never-ending show, a parade of stories, a parade of ideas, a parade of illusions, and then when it stops, you're like, "What the hell?" It's like full stop.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
stillness. It's appearing as. It's like a spell. It's like this fantasy of this running show that there's someone here speaking, that there's someone happening, that there's talking, there's a Kim, there's an Arian, there's a Rygo, and there's a whole bunch of, but that's all nothing.
But how the hell are you speaking? I mean, it's just
How the hell are you listening?
yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's the impossibility. Appearing as this possibility of us speaking, of us using. There's no us. There's no we. There's nothing happening. And many teachings, point to this, that this is an illusion. But somehow
Yeah.
I can teach you to get out of this illusion. No, it's all illusion. So an illusion can't get out of the illusion. A story can't undo the story. But when it's seen that all of this is a story, meaning that there's no greater illusion, there's no lesser illusion, it's all illusion, there's a relief there. It's that's the full stop. You're like, okay, this belief will keep on going on, but there's this stillness. Full stop. There's this emptiness that never wavers, that never changes. And that is what is apparently permanent.
Yeah.
So there's no death, there's no life, there's no moon, there's no stars, there's no universe, there's no there's you and I, just this stillness. And it appears as in the apparent, you know what I'm saying, in the apparent illusion of time as movement, as a happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. As others.
Yeah, and it seems like it's the experiencing me, so to speak, is like it's a point. It almost seems like a point. It jumps. It almost like it jumps a little ahead to create time.
Yes.
And thereby, maintaining itself through its story.
The story will always maintain itself as a real story, as reality. So that's the trick. That's the illusion that this is reality. And the story will maintain it. The story of time, the story of you, the story of your thoughts. So seemingly there's this idea that if I stop my thoughts.
Yeah.
If I'm no longer here. Man. Yeah. But that's just another story, because the story will never get out of the story. So having no thoughts is just another story, but it's a maintenance of that story, isn't it? To maintain that there's no. So what's happening here is the expression here is that this unconditional, unwavering emptiness that appears as everything, there's nothing that's needed to be changed, because there's no doer, because a doer implies time. Change implies time. But there's the illusion of time and there's the illusion of change. So anyone that is pointing to, a destination or a certainty or a superiority has just gone back into the illusion and proclaims now that they're outside of the illusion, but the illusion can't get out of the illusion.
No.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
I'm out. Thanks for the knockout punch.
You apparently asked for it, so there you go.
Yeah, I did. Thanks.
All right. Hi, Tej.
Hi there, Emerson.
Yeah.
Very interesting discussion with Kim. And so really, I thought about that. So in a way of looking at it, the space and time are kind of one and the same thing. They are
Yes.
interwoven. You can't have one without the other,
Yes.
right? And so the time, it's really phenomenal. And all of that is happening because there is a location of someone. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah. There is a
Location, if there was no kind of a point of reference.
there's a centralized location. There's this, there's this. Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like very interesting because, in quantum physics, they do these experiments and they find out that if there is an observer, it changes the experiment.
Yes, that's
Right?
right.
Isn't that fascinating?
It's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating.
So
That was actually
space-
discussed in my meetings.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get a recording next week. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're looking at it because if there's an observer, there is a location or a point of reference.
Yes.
The moment there is a point of reference, it changes things.
That's right. Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's
When there is no one, it's immeasurable. When there is someone, there's measurement.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah,
there's
right.
measurement, so every measurement is an illusion. What's immeasurable cannot be comprehended. So it can only be captured when there is an awareness of it. So awareness is an illusion.
Yeah, and that's what exactly. And
Yeah.
I see your reference to awareness and why you guys are so, point out that awareness is a fallacy. And I see that now because awareness means there is a point of reference,
There you go.
right?
Ta-da.
If
Yeah.
there's a point of reference, you have disrupted the space-time continuum and you are located and you have a point of reference, have a location, then everything changes. Then the illusion comes into picture.
Yes. Bingo. Yeah.
God.
And it's so easy to get confused with this awareness thing, right? Because it can be euphoric, you know what I'm saying? When you think that you've arrived at something, it can be kind of like, oh, this is where no thoughts come. It's just this, but it's also a position. It's also a location, right? So they try to gear into this location when there is kind of like there's just this, this whatever. But what is missed is that they're denying whatever is, the apparent character is denying everything else. It has a preference.
Right.
It has a preference. And having a preference and having this desired, location is kind of like what I talk about in the highway. It's kind of like trying to arrive somewhere that keeps on moving. It can never be reached. So there's this maintenance of practices, abiding there. It's like trying to shoot a moving target that can never be caught. Because freedom appears in everything. Freedom is everything. It's not a bullseye. That's a very limited and almost let's just say it, moronic idea of what freedom is.
Sorry for bringing that in, but yeah, fascinating. Actually, I just find this fascinating. The whole space-time continuum is really flowing. It's really nothing until there is a point of reference. At the moment there's a point of reference, it springs up a point of view, a location, an object, and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, and that's why this is really fascinating to speak about, right? Because it's just this, no one's choosing to do any of this, and there's just this lightness about it because it's not trying to make a point. It's just illuminating that there's no point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what's fascinating? Like I was saying, these scientific experiments they are doing with quantum physics, every time there is an observer, even if there's an instrument.
Yes. Yes.
That whole, outcome of the experiment is different.
It's when
Right.
there's measurement, it becomes subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yes. But there's no subject and object really. So doing an experiment with a subject and an object
Yes.
is doomed to fail. Kind of
Yes.
like trying to practice with its subject and object, or trying to, trying to trying to reach somewhere when there's a subject, there's someone to reach this or someone to attain this. It's just ignorance and
Mhm.
arrogance at the same time.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. Yeah, it's an illusion because subject and object. When I was going back and forth with my conversation, it was quite fascinating because they're kind of like they kept on getting tripped up, and I really don't know anything about science. But just going back into the contradictory that they're saying. For example, when they say, well, there is this timelessness or whatever, but this study here, and that. Like, so let's just say that there's just this timelessness. How can this be possible then? Well, that will require some, this kind of like thing. Like, well, it will require a subject and an object testing it, right?
Yep.
They're like, well, yeah, So what if there's no subject and object? Then the whole testing is not really valid, isn't it? They're like, well, yeah, but and then it stumps them. It stumps them, right? Because this communication is just really stating the obvious.
Right. I think they have to make that final leap to say the space-time is an illusion.
That's right. Yeah.
They haven't made that leap yet.
Yeah, there are some books out there that they were presenting me with some books that actually that points that out, that the space and time is an illusion, but they'll say that it's flawed because it's this and that, and there's another kind of like another suggestion of this and that again, but ultimately every testing is flawed because it has a beginning and an ending. It operates within the time structure when there's no time.
There's a location.
There's a location. Yeah.
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 Excellent.
Thank you.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Hey, Emerson, can I say something?
Yeah, for sure.
Follow just what you and Tess were talking about. I used to do controlled remote viewing.
You used to do, sorry, what? Control
remote viewing.
Okay.
And it
Oh,
was-
remote viewing. Oh,
It
wow.
was based on what you and Tesh were just
Yeah.
talking about. It has to do all with the whole subject object thing, and there has to be a point of reference. There has to
Yes.
I was at a world-class level. I was that ignorant. I was that nuts.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
again, as what was like who I think it was Tej, were just gullible. There's just this gullibility, and there's this rawness and wanting to, because what's being expressed is that there's this unknown, or there's this divinity, or there's sacredness. So the gullibility and the vulnerability is just there because there's this wanting for something fantastical. So the fantasy is trying to create a fantasy to make the fantasy more fantastic.
Oh, there has to be a purpose behind it.
That's right. Yeah.
And in that realm, it does work. It does work. I did a target once. I did hundreds of targets, but I did one where I remote viewed a volcano that happened somewhere around China. And I described it to a T. And not only that, but I pinned the date down to about a couple of years. And this happened hundreds of years ago. And it was so weird.
Yeah. Well, there's this, everything is allowed, right? There's the apparent planet is spinning around in empty space, saying at a certain speed. And then there's just this parade of illusions, right?
Oh.
And it feels absolutely real.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was just like seeing that you were on the subject of the subject object and the point of view. It just brought back the remote view and stuff.
Thank you so much for sharing. We'll talk about that more. That's interesting. I'll be right back. I'm just going to let my puppy in. It's crying nonstop.
Yeah.
Beautiful illusion puppy.
Oh, Ella.
That's amazing, Robert. You were a remote viewer. I have read about them, and that in fact, that CIA had this top secret project. They might still be having.
It could be a black hole. They're
It is
not gonna-
back up. That's the yeah.
It's, I don't know. I met a lot of friends. Oh,
Oh.
there she is. Ella.
Sorry about that.
Resolution is not beautiful as long as illusion, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, beautiful illusion. Smiling right now, acknowledging it. Sorry about the noise. Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi again.
Hi, you. How are you? That shirt's nice though.
Well, thank you. To say that something is an illusion, it's not to say that it's less than.
No, 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 not at all.
Because then you would be saying that the emptiness of presence is less than.
Yes. So less than is also an illusion. Any idea? Everything is. Yeah, everything is an illusion. Even the word emptiness is an illusion. Because there are really no words. There's no words for this. So seemingly there's this illusory movement, illusory labeling, illusory this and that and measurement and everything. And that is just all emptiness. So it's not less than or more than, it's all emptiness, meaning it's not to get rid of, there's something better or whatever. It's just an illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That goes to the whole thing about trying, what you're saying, getting rid of thoughts.
Yeah.
Trying to look at things and say, well, I don't see the emptiness there.
Yes, yes. That's it. Yeah. Trying to get rid of thoughts, thinking it's less of an illusion. There's no less or more. Everything is an illusion. It's not about, let's just do the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what? If it's about getting rid of things, why don't we blind ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Because everything that we see is also an illusion. Every color is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. Color, sounds, sights, feelings, emotions. It is. Thoughts, conversations, movement. It's like nitpicking at this illusion this illusion's making me uncomfortable. It's called thoughts. I don't want that. So trying to get rid of that is just perpetuating the illusion that there was there in the first place, that it was real in the first place. So when I hear someone talk about losing their thoughts, it makes me just giggle. Right?
Hold on. Keep them contained.
Yeah.
Put them in a box. Put them over there.
Yes. Or put it into awareness.
Oh, that works.
No, because it's not there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just this ridiculousness about trying to maintain the illusion. So any practices or any kind of acknowledging is maintaining it. So for example, my thoughts are, how do I get rid of my thoughts? It's maintaining that it's real.
Right.
It appears
Right.
like the color red, like the color, the bitter taste, but none of it is real. Kind of like sounds. None of this has any audible effects, really. It's just silence appearing as sound. Emptiness appearing as thoughts. Colors, blankness appearing as colors. Nothingness appearing as emotions. Spaciousness appearing as contracted feelings. So if we're really talking about not two, kind of like what Tej was saying, advaita, there's no separation whatsoever. Like my dog playing with everything that it sees. It's just an appearance.
The problem is when you try to put together,
Mm.
if you're trying to put it together, because it's already.
Oh yeah.
that.
You get even trying to
already
put it
that.
together is not a process, right? It's kind of like, how do I make silence and sound together? It's just it is the same. So thinking that it was separate in the first place is perpetuating again that there was separation in the beginning.
The sound of one hand clapping.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My dog attacked my light. I'll be right back. Just a second. Sorry about that. He attacked my light, so the light was crashing down. That's right. The mic and the light was under attack.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Julia.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Julia. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, no, I don't know what I want to say, but I feel really shitty. Like it's so shitty.
Shitty happens too.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. It's just a happening. It's just what is. Shitty shifts, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all the same and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Blah blah. Yeah.
It's just emptiness appearing as shitty.
Yeah.
There's no preference when it comes to emptiness.
No. That's for sure. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm glad we can laugh about shitty.
Yeah. I guess that's why I came here. I came here to laugh about the shittiness.
I love your emails, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I love telling stories
Yes.
sometimes. Yeah. Like really, there's just I can't. It's just this. I need to write.
Yeah. Because a story will only do what it does is tell stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so amazing that I can actually send these stories to
Yes.
someone.
Yes.
That's just amazing.
They're beautiful, though. They're beautiful. You should publish them. You should.
You think?
Yeah. It's all the wildness and the madness and the clarity at the same time. It's there.
Oh my God, it describes my whole experience every day.
Yeah.
Totally, completely. Wow. It's like really, sometimes there's so much bullshitting and like there's a belief in the bullshit, but at
Oh
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, it's just so obvious that it's just empty, blah, blah, blah. Like
Yeah.
there's no meaning behind the words.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I don't know, the biggest mind fuck sometimes. And then I feel like shit. And then it's not there. And then nobody cares. And
That's
yeah, I don't know.
right. Then you go to sleep at night and you wake up and it starts all over again. So what?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're writing me an email again how wondrous it is, and then the next day it's like, this is really shitty now. The madness, the wildness, the clarity, and everything in apparent.
Oh, I love it, Emerson. I love it.
All right.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you,
Oh,
Emerson.
you
Thank
too,
you.
you too. Thank you, Julia. Keep on sending them the emails. They're really great. I'm like, there's an
Oh,
email
I
from Julia.
will. I will. I will.
Nothing writing to nothing about empty.
Yes. 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 It's very lovely.
Thank you for coming for a laugh.
Yeah. Thank you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Emerson. Is this clarity going deeper and deeper for Emerson because each meeting is becoming more clearer and clearer, and there's a lot of enjoyment happening here. Thank you for everything that you do. There's no one here, so this is just all that there is this. But thank you, though. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Emerson. Can you talk about true nature? Okay. All right. See, although there's nothing wrong or right about these words, they're really just superficial appearances of something that doesn't have any nature, doesn't have any truth. Because truth and nature are just words, and trying to locate something that is just empty. So true nature is usually attached with this is your true nature. This is your true essence. This is your divine whatever. This what again, there's nothing wrong or right about that. But again, it's coming into a landing. It's coming to a position of it's an excuse again. It's again, there's nothing wrong or right about that. But if we're going to nitpick here, um, what is being expressed is doesn't have to do with any kind of location, kind of landing. Um, it's okay to use that word, but in this character here, it prefers to use depersonalized words. Because I used to say that as a teacher, that your true nature is the sacredness of this breath, or something like that, something bullshitty. Um, um, so yeah, so there's nothing wrong or right about that word, but trying to locate something, as I said, that is this perpetually moving emptiness, appearing as everything, as a truth, as a nature, as a location, as a destination, as an absolute, then it lands somewhere as a source. So those words again, like people use source, um, um, divinity. Again, there's nothing. They're just words. They're just words. But seemingly, what's being expressed there is just this boundlessness, this energetic appearance of everything appearing. As my dog knocking again on my door. It's quite clever. It keeps on escaping. My brother is babysitting my dog, and he just keeps on escaping. And it's kind of like this Mission Impossible thing. It gets out of its whatever, and then somehow is on my door and attacks my light. Beautiful. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey,
Hey,
Emerson.
how are
Hey, good
you?
to see you again.
Good.
Good, man. Good. I just wanted to express just kind of gratitude basically for coming across you and this sharing, because it's so nice to come across something that's not a teaching, and I don't mean to just repeat what you're saying like a parrot, but I really mean it. And that it is a sharing, because it, like what Tej was saying, it just establishes that there's no duality. There's no someone sitting on a stage speaking down to me hoping to get closer to that person, because that would mean something about my realization or my who I may be. And the other beautiful thing that I just love about this is that because of you as a character went through being a teacher, it's this exposing of it. And it's not like I've heard you say, this isn't about, I'm not trying to put anyone down, I'm not trying to, and we're not, that's not what this is about. It's like all of us here probably, or for the most part, are probably, been with gurus and teachers and all this stuff. And, I can identify with what Tej is saying with like, hey, let's call these people out. And this isn't saying a counterpoint, but it's just, in my experience, having been a monk and having given, been 15 years celibate and feeling like, oh, I could regret, the lost conquest, the lost opportunities. And it's like, but it's like, also it's an opportunity for like, I don't know, just so much like self-forgiveness of the victim mentality and the victimizer. And it's just like a letting go of that, the whole duality thing. There's no victimizer, there's no victim, we're all just fucking, you could say it on the story level, we're all just doing our best, but like ultimately we're all fucking one. We're one, it's just one isness. It's just not dual, right? But the thing that I love about where I feel like I've been helped so much by this sharing is that because you're pulling back the curtain of the Wizard of Oz. And for me, I'm just, there's just been a lot of peace and a lot of silence during this thing, and I feel like I've wanted to share that because our time the other day was just wonderful. And last night, I won't take too much time here, but last night I watched with my wife this Jimmy Savile documentary on Netflix, and I'm an American. I didn't know much about him at all. But just for people who don't know, he's this huge celebrity star in England, and so people idolized him, worshiped him, raised him up greater than, higher than. And then in addition to his celebrity status, he also gave back the selfless service. He volunteered at children's hospitals, and he was a great Catholic, and on, right? And yet then it comes out this other side of the monster, and in some of these interviews, I'll wrap this up. I'll make it a point,
take your time. Take your time. No worries at all.
But in these interviews, as the allegations started to emerge, he would go, "No, are you kidding me? I would never do this. Do you think Prince Albert and the Queen and the Duchess would hang out with me if I were doing it?" Right? No. And in the moment of those interviews, I could see why someone would be like, "Oh, he's telling the truth," right? But watching this documentary, it's so obvious how shallow his no was. Like, in other words, the truth, relatively in the story, was so pervasive. Like, he was just doing the most awful things in the dream you could ever imagine.
Yeah, I saw that documentary.
Okay, you did, yeah. So, but the no was like, no, and it just reminded me of this discussion that we're having here, where it's like the me wants to reassert itself, and it seems quite confident. No, I'm a separate person. I'm here. You're there. That nitpicking you were talking about. But the truth of it is like, it's so shallow. It just comes up, but it's like, it's very superficial.
It is. It is. Yeah. It's so transparently obvious. You know what I'm saying? When it tries to reassert itself over and over again, just like a teacher or person of authority. If you look at authority, it's the same as a me character. It maintains the lie. It maintains its facade of its real. You know, kind of like, you know, with the Jimmy Savile thing, that he was a philanthropist and everything, but it was really these horrible things too. It chooses what it wants to present, and that's why teaching, you know what I'm saying, is very, it's very codependent. It's the moment that you give away your you know your someone has the truth, then it's a struggle of power. Someone is the power. And then there's this gullibility in believing this teacher over and over again. So what's being presented here is that, you know what, it's just all a facade, you know, all of this play, right? You know, so when there's an apparent character that is trumpeting their teachings and teaching you that this is special, that this is, you know, this is rare, you know, let's all this kind of stuff. It's the gullibility, kind of like what this character and that character went through when you became a monk, when you became a teacher. It's kind of like here.
Yeah.
Please take
well,
me.
And I tried to be a teacher of
Yeah.
the I amness after, because I said, oh, I left them,
Yeah.
you know, I left them on. I know so much. Let me share. And I just felt,
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
working for me here. But the other thing is that it's like this message has nothing to do with the dream. It has nothing to do, like, I mean, on some level, it has nothing to do with what's going on here. So these teachings that, you know, supposedly I'm going to help you get somewhere, it's like, it's no different than the self-interest. It's just self-interest, like being a businessman, like it's all a scam. Like look at the money system. It's just printing money. Look at the healthcare system. Look at Trump. You know, I'm for Trump. I'm for Biden. It's all a fucking scam. We're all here for ourselves. I mean, if the separate me is alive, I'm here for me. I'm gonna get mine, you know? And it's like, but I don't think of it that way. Like, I'm a real estate agent. I don't think like I want the deal to come together. That's my self-interest.
Yeah.
It's like the teacher who's, you know, we don't see the shadow side of the me is so clever. It's tricky. That's what Jimmy Savile was saying. The trickiness never loses its trickiness. Do you remember that part?
Yes.
Where he said the trickiness, like, because he never was like, well, he was always trying to be in control of the acting, you know, what was going down.
Well, it
Anyway,
controls the narrative of what it wants to present, right? You know, when there's this teacher, and it and although, you know what I'm saying, it lacks really credibility, you know what I'm saying, it makes up for it by its authority.
Yeah.
It's brilliant though. That talk that we did was so beautiful. I watched it again, actually. It's beautiful.
I did too.
Wow.
I'm so grateful to you, man. It was, you know, I don't want to take too much, but like, it's interesting because I left there really, it was like I needed to tell my story, and then it was done. It was just this like done. It's like I knew it was done, but it wasn't done till I just needed to tell you, and you just graciously sat there and listened, and then it was done. But like so that night I came out, and my wife, you know, who is the love of my life, my best friend, I mean, all that, you know, and comes in, and I think it's okay that I share this, but her father had like abandoned her when she was younger, and so there's trauma there, and something had happened where they reconnected, and just something had erupted that day. So she came home from work, and she was totally triggered by the story, and she's telling me the story, and it was just like what you said earlier. I was like, it was like this, oh, I have to believe this story, you know? How could I not believe it? But there was a recognition that came from our meeting that it was like, I can't, like, if I believe that that's a separate story there, then this is a separate story. It was just, and yet there was still compassion, and there was still this person who could listen and be open. It was like this integration, whereas before it was always like, if I'm not a person, then I can't, you know. And it was just this beautiful integration of, it's a story, it's not real, there's no separation, and yet I can be here lovingly, compassionately for my wife. I mean, the story and the truth, it was like, which is what I've been searching for for decades, So thank you, man.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Jonathan. We'll chat again. That video is beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank
Thank
you.
you, man. I'm just going to let my dog in. Just a sec. What video can you share? It's up to Jonathan. I can release it. It's a beautiful video.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with whatever. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'll release it then. Yeah. That story reminded me of the character story of seeking and doing practices and the relentlessness of the desperation of seeking. Right. It was just so wow. It's just a story now, but the seeking was just a lot of suffering. The spirituality was suffering for this character anyway. So I can see how Tej gets inflamed with that because it is quite fascinating. Trying to maintain spirituality, trying to maintain positions and locations and states, although everything is just a story. Thank you, Ileana. Thank you, Susie. We'll talk in a breakout room. I love that Jonathan said about the false authority of the self. Yes. Yes, that's beautiful actually. That's really beautiful. Seemingly what seems to happen in seeking circles is that there's this authority, seeking for an authority. It's a maintenance. It's a maintenance of the apparent illusion that there's separation. Because how can there be authority when there's no separation? How can there be hierarchy when this is wholeness? How can someone say that this is all an illusion and in the same breath, let me tell you how get there by practicing it. Oh, sorry. Yes, we have a 2-hour break after this, and then we have a last session, which is going to be great. Is it time already? Well, thank you so much, everyone. We're going to take a couple hours break. There'll be an breakout room open. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in a couple of hours. If not, have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you.
Bye, Emerson. Thank you.
Thank you to
Thank
everyone that
you.
asked
Thank
questions. That
you.
was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you.